1, call this meeting to order at 10 o'clock.
Mr. Buckley.
Here.
Mr. Gallo.
Here.
Mr. Peter.
Here.
Okay, stand as you wish for the pledge and invocation. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, please be with us today as we come together as the county to make the best decisions for the county. Keep us all safe as we go home, and hope everybody got over the Easter and knew what it was for you. I ask this in your Son, Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Okay, the consent agenda is approval of minutes of last week, disposal of old equipment, order of deeds, certificate of training for the sheriff, and appointment order for the prosecuting attorney's office. Motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you. There are no table agenda items. Stephanie, the pressure's on.
Thank you. I take that well, I understand.
There's got to be some harassment.
Well, I'll take it, I'll take it.
Thank you.
Sorry, when you have kids that are like 12 that are taller than you, you just learn to take it well.
That's perfect.
Welcome, thank you for the opportunity again. We appreciate the quarterly reports. So just a few things. We are now allowed to be in larger groups than 20, so that's a very exciting thing for us. University, what was it, March 1st, I think, came out with new regulations, and so there was something called incident command, that if we were going to have something of more than 20 people in it, we had to go through a whole process to have approval. So now the magic number is 50, and so we are able to do day camps and things like that, and so it'll be actually be able to go to Forest Club meetings again and things like that. So we're excited, a great chance to get back out into the community. Virtual is great, but there's nothing like being in person at events and things like that. So couple things. I'll start with Alyssa's report. Alyssa Bowyer is our nutrition program associate, so she is a grant-funded position through State of Missouri, University of Missouri and State of Missouri. She does primarily nutrition programming throughout the county, and what you see on the paper is her numbers for the past 3 months. So she has been able to go into the schools. The schools have been very welcoming to her. She's been in West County. She's been at Jefferson Elementary here in Farmington. I had West County twice. Sorry about that. Truman's Learning Center, so kindergarten here in Farmington. She did the Farmington School District Wellness Fair for the teachers. And she is also at Bloomsdale working with the YPA over there to do kids in the kitchen. So she's had a lot of contacts and has been working hard and is starting a new session of classes here, I think, this week or next week. So she also every Friday goes to the St. Joseph Catholic Church, St. Vincent de Paul food pantry. Does some food tastings, does some nutrition education, things like that for those. And the final thing is her success report. We encourage everybody to talk about successes and things like that. And her success report, it talks about how a teacher reported to her at the end of the sessions that kids are making some better choices with snacks that they bring and lunches that they bring and things like that. And so less sometimes food and more of the vegetables and fruits that they've tasted throughout the time that she's been in the classroom. So that is a big success, getting kids to eat a little bit healthier, choose those healthy snacks on their own. So next will be the 4-H report. There's been a lot going on. 4-H Feeding Missouri is a 4-month-long food drive for the state of Missouri with Missouri 4-H, and so we have been collecting food in each county. In St. Francis County, we have had clubs do collections, like Farmington Farmers collected, I think, almost 300 pounds of food in 1 month. And we submit those numbers, either the time that they spend volunteering, the pounds of food, or the monetary donations that they receive. In order, it's like a competition for the counties through the state. So it's a really great program. Our goal is 500,000 pounds of food, so 500,000 pounds of food from the state of Missouri donated by 4-H members. The 4-H snack program is something new. In January, we were told that 25% of our YPA, so Casey Amston, who is our YPA in the county, 25% of her time is being basically bought out by FNP, the same program that Alyssa works for. to do something called the 4-H Snack Club. So it's doing some of the nutrition curriculum, some of the more hands-on stuff. So eating from the garden, kids in the kitchen, soccer for success. And they add an element of leadership and community service to it. So instead of a 6-week program, it's an 8-week program. And they go into different locations where there's youth, and they do these programs. And at the end, the goal is that the kids have learned some leadership, have learned nutrition, physical activity, and that they've done a community service project for the location or for some piece of the community. So Casey is planning on working actually with the Mineral Area Homeschool Cooperative. They have about 100 families this year, and so she will be doing Soccer for Success with the Homeschool Co-op group and then a community service project with that. So they'll learn leadership, citizenship, and nutrition. Other activities that we've done, we do statewide 4-H team meetings every 2 weeks, and then we do staff meetings twice a month as well. The St. Francis County Fair is a go, and those dates are June 24th through 26th, so we've been doing some prep work for that, hog nominations and steer weigh-ins. East Central Regional Energizer was February 20th. That was fully virtual. We brought a speaker in. It was manned actually from St. Francis County, but we brought a speaker in. He all through Zoom. It was actually a really great success. We had 43 families logged on, so about 75 people on. So for us, that was pretty good. It's about the typical number that our Energizer brings in anyway. We also conducted East Central State 4-H Council interviews, so those are our state leadership positions, and those are recognition form interviews. We've had a shooting sports safety training, and then we've done some professional development with after-school providers. Casey currently is starting a statewide coding 4-H club, so it will be virtual. She has found that those types of activities actually excel at the virtual realm because they're already on a computer. They can zoom in. It works. So she'll start that 4-H club here, I think, here in April. She had 3 members dedicated. I think we have another 4 or 5 that are signed up as well. So we'll have probably 10 kids before we start, and that'll be kids all around the state. And then day camps are being planned for each county. We are not allowed to camp overnight this year, but we will be doing day camps in each county. Moving on to livestock. Kendra Graham is the livestock specialist. Currently, she's covering 9 counties in East Central, maybe 8 counties in East Central, and then probably 10 in Southeast. So she has between 19 and 20 counties that she covers. So the Show Me Select heifer sale, currently she's doing the data management for both sales. That's one in Jackson and one here in Farmington. She's working on pregnancy checks and the pre-breeding visits for both sales as well. And then sale preparation has begun. The sale is here in Farmington. It's May 14th, and they have 130 heifers consigned so far. St. Francis County, she did the steer weigh-in for us, so she was at the steer weigh-in taking weights and that stuff. She also conducted Show Me Quality Assurance trainings. Those are trainings for our youth who exhibit animals at the county fair. And it's to make sure that they understand how to treat an animal, why you do certain things to animals. They talk about giving shots to the animals and things like that, how to do it properly so that you don't harm an animal. Just basically treating your animal well. And so all those youth, she had 51 participants between the 2 counties. Parcel production is in the plans. For those of you that have been around a while, you may have heard of it before. It is a Women in Ag conference that in the past has been held live. Last year it was virtual. This year it's going to be live again in November. She serves on our professional association and is also part of a multi-state grant called Heartland Extension Disaster Education Network. They're revising emergency management materials and educational programs for extension directors, targeting our agricultural extension educators. So what to do in an emergency in the way of a farm. So where to find help, how to handle different situations. So she's working on that as well right now. Any questions? I'm waiting for the firing squad.
Oh, there's a lot. You guys got a lot going on.
Anybody have questions for him? You held up well under the pressure.
Thank you, guys.
The day camps, they can't, they can only be day camps, you can't do overnight, you said. Is that a state thing? Or is
Yes, well, I spoke of incident command. They don't approve overnight camps for this year, so we are only at day camp.
Normally, where would that be? A riverbank somewhere?
Actually, our overnight camp for the counties that I serve is held at Pinecrest in Fredericktown. And then the extra counties that I serve, it's held at Camp Clover Point at Lake of the Ozarks State Park. So,
Okay, no other questions? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Okay, bridge beams, road and bridge. Those are not the pictures of the beams they're
I was
talking
like,
about.
man, don't they usually,
Well, those are pretty good. You can see the steel sticking out.
Like over the road and bridge, at last week's meeting, we didn't receive any bids, for our, bridge beams, so we went and solicited quotes from the two, beam contractors that we've used in the past. The only two that are fairly local now, they're both in Illinois. One does have a plant in Bonne Terre that's owned by the same company. I don't think our beams will be constructed there, but they could be kind of considered local, if you will, in that regard. Any other bridge or beam companies, concrete companies that we would do these from would be so far away, it would not be practical for shipping for us to purchase them there. So we did receive two quotes, one from McCann Concrete Products and the other from County Materials. The one from McCann was $49,420. The one from County Materials, $47,552. And we would ask permission to seek the lowest bid for these bridge products, and these will be for Usick Road.
36 feet, how many beams?
There will be 6 4 feet wide for a total of 24 feet wide road surface.
Okay.
The beams will weigh approximately 12 tons.
Yeah,
each.
12, 13 tons.
12, 13 tons apiece.
Several
So
trucks.
we will have to solicit crane service to set them when the time comes. We will do all the other work ourselves in
It's
house.
4 feet wide, so can you get two on one truck?
No, they said
No.
only haul one at a time.
6 trucks?
Yep.
Yeah.
And we do not wish to overload those trucks on the road that they'll be coming in on,
Yep.
because we already
Gotta
have some
set the
issues.
example.
Yes, we already have
What was
some
that
Kevin?
total on that?
base issues.
$47,552.40. And we have purchased beams from this company before. We have McCann as well, but they are the cheaper of the two.
What was the other company called?
McCann Concrete Products, and then the one that we would prefer to go with, which is a cheaper bid, County Materials Corporation.
Have you looked at, your next projects about getting materials in relationship to the so-called, the act that they're doing in DC about, it looks like we're gonna try to, I don't know how they're gonna build all these roads and bridges with no materials and no labor force.
We
My
have,
question is, are we make sure we're getting our materials ordered before they tell us it's a 2 or 3 year wait?
We do have proposals on 3 bridge projects. Those designs have to be done before we can even order the bridge, and that's in the process right now.
Yeah, I would,
But that's the problem.
they haven't thought that through, that we're gonna replace all these bridges. Well, you gotta have materials, you gotta have operators, you gotta have crane.
And we're already.
We're trying to
looking
get
at-
ahead of all
Yes,
that.
we're already
That's
looking
what
at the end of May before we can take delivery on these.
Yeah,
They're that far
that's
back.
all, you know, it's
We
just-
have really 3 for sure, maybe 4 projects in the works that we've already got the ball rolling on with, now, we probably have the money to fund 3 of these projects. The 4th one, we are anticipating, the
Some
large
help.
stimulus money
Stimulus funds.
to address that, but we can't do it until it's there.
Okay.
But we are in the early stages of getting this.
Okay, the question on the floor is, do we allow the purchase of these beams? So I need a motion. You recommend a motion, correct?
Yes.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion, we, purchase the bridge beams from County Material Corp. at $47,552.40.
I'll second that.
And, question, does that include the freight?
Yes,
It's everything.
That does include the freight.
that does not, that's to truck them here and in the beams themselves, that's
But
it.
not the crane?
Not set, not the
No.
crane service, no.
Okay.
We will.
Contract that out ourselves.
Contract that out, but everything else we'll do ourselves.
Okay. Okay, any other questions?
When will that start, Clay?
Probably tear it out a week before anticipated delivery.
Right.
So we're still looking at the end of May. We have to coordinate with the manufacturer to see for sure.
Because we don't want the road closed any longer than we have to, so it may be closed a week or so. Or, well, maybe closed 3 or 4 weeks, but we'll have the bead ready set a week before that.
And how much go around is there when that bridge goes?
Maybe
Several miles.
5 miles, 6
Okay.
miles, maybe.
Okay, well, and you put up signs early?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So we're gonna do this last week of school, will the buses go across that?
What do you
They're
mean?
crossing it now.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a 1-lane bridge right
My
now.
question is are we gonna
Are
get
we-
calls
is
from
this
the,
gonna
from the
be in
school
the
saying,
school?
why did you close that 2 weeks before school? We
We-
could've waited 2 weeks and the
Right.
school
We
would've been out.
coordinate with
within
the
a-
school district and.
Not that we get that.
Right. Well, we do.
Yeah, they do, yeah.
We do. We coordinate with
And,
them.
you know,
And we do.
we try to accommodate them all that we can, but sometimes it's just TS.
Okay.
Let's type the term on
Any other questions? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you, thank you,
it.
Mike. Okay, this,
You did make the motion.
Yeah, I
Yes.
made the motion.
Yeah, which one?
I made it, Carrie seconded it.
Okay.
All in favor? Thank you.
Okay, the next topic is right-of-way easement for fiber optic. Is this IT or, okay, well, what happens is they're running fiber optic cable into the juvenile detention from 32 Highway and going across our property, and they need an easement.
Okay.
And I have that copy, I think we all have a copy of that in our notes. So, motion?
I'll make a motion, we accept, the easement to run the fiber optic off our property.
I'll second.
Okay, any questions? If you have a question, I'll give Lindy a copy of my paperwork here. Okay, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you so much. Okay, IT. This is called job security.
Oh, yeah. Jerry Palmer, IT department. I'm here to get the ball rolling for the request of 50 new computers, so we can keep that 3-year cycle going, getting all the older computers out, replace them with new ones, and keep it going. We're replacing 50 every year. That's what Daniel had last year to move forward, and that's what we continue. That way we have that same plan in effect.
Will these go to, basically to a department or maybe 3 departments?
Could go roughly around 3 departments.
Okay, so you completely change out that department, those
Correct.
departments, and then everybody else is sitting for another year or so? and then-
Correct.
Okay.
But we
not here
also,
and there and there.
in that 50, we might not use all 50. That way we have spare in case someone in another department, like motherboard or something goes out.
Have it blow
We
out.
can replace it right then and there, we'll have it.
Okay, and it bought under that good price?
Correct.
Okay,
This is on budget,
motion,
isn't it?
you wanted to do a motion?
Motion to open up bids to allow, I guess competitive bidding for the bill set.
To request bids.
And this is
What's
all
it?
budgeted and everything.
On budget?
All budget.
Yes,
Okay, and, this will obviously have to be printed and go through the formal bidding process, is that correct?
correct.
Obviously, it's gonna be more than $6,000. Okay, so, motion?
I'll make a motion that, you request the bid 50 new computers.
I'll second that.
Okay, any questions? Yeah,
Is there a reason this wasn't done on the annual bid?
I was actually trying to push through the security at Weber Road first before I started on anything else, because that was more priority. So I didn't have it in time for the annual bid.
Well, I was just curious, cause if it would've been done with that, we wouldn't have had the extra expense to post this RFP.
okay.
Right.
Okay, any other questions? All in favor, aye? Aye. Thank you.
All right.
Did we miss it? Yeah, okay. Turn Pilot Road over to the city of Deloge. Dave, you wanna talk about that?
Yeah, I'll talk, there's not much to talk about, so what'll happen is.
Probably gave it to you.
Yeah, actually, it's an ongoing process. Deloge is doing some, it's 137 foot between the arrows there, so roughly. And it just needs to be extended to the property line, which is Deloge it's Deloge City. County goes to the blue, where the blue line stops on Rice, and go over. It is actually nothing that they have right now. Their attorney was still looking for information, so it's something when it happens. I think what we'll do instead of turning that over is give them we just give it to them, just like our crew going out there and doing it. We just give them permission to do it, and Nothing at this time, I'm sorry.
I don't show the location well here, but if I can get a cursor going.
We were
Anyway,
there this morning
Yes.
and they haven't started it.
No,
yet.
nothing has happened on this run, and it won't until they'll give us a heads up first, and that way I can get them in touch. Well, you guys have already been in touch, but we say, hey, Clay and John, would you guys get with those guys and just coordinate it, because we're not going to do the work. County's not going to be out any money.
And in regards to the road and bridges standpoint, I think the commissions as well is, we have no opposition to what they're
No.
wanting to develop here.
And there's an
No-
easement
no
there
opposition on
on
it.
both those properties. They're rode up an easement, so it's already there. I think they just want to get all their legality things out of the way. So
so
there's
I-
going to be probably 100 new houses sitting over in the left side of that. Good for
Area
the
to be
county.
developed.
Good for the a whole area. So
Progress.
And to put this in location, ability, if that's a bad word, off the far right of this, maybe a quarter of a mile is the Lowe's Walmart.
yeah.
So it's just down the hill from that, or up the hill from Walmart. So, that's good. Now, what do you wanna do here? Table this? What do you wanna do?
Well, I was just curious, are they gonna have problems with the city, or with is that gonna have to be voted on at the city council to?
No, actually, where the Rice Road, where it says Rice Road, to that arrow right, the farthest one
This one?
left, yes, that over is in the county.
Okay.
That's Rice Road is a county
Yes.
maintained road.
Okay, gotcha.
And Adams Road area, as they call it, is not from the blue apartments with car store. That's not in the city.
Gotcha.
So,
I was just worried
Anyway,
that you start
so-
getting those other.
yeah, we can table.
Some of those homes are in city limits and some are not.
Yeah.
They've
I can
opted
see.
not to.
I
Now,
guess some of them.
Clay, that there, we attain that property, that's gonna be, but they're just gonna be allowed to build the road. And
Right.
Right. And the
It's
property,
our
we don't do
property.
anything.
They're
with.
just gonna
The
do
road
work
is the only
that
thing
we
in
don't
the
have.
county.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be construed as though they are going to improve the county maintained roadway for their benefit.
Yeah.
So we're gonna
You're
table
making
this?
a motion to
I'm just gonna make a
table it
motion.
until further,
Yeah.
we don't have to
Yeah.
put it on next week.
Well, let's
we
not,
can-
No.
I think table defines put it
Oh,
on next
does it?
week.
Okay.
So just delay it and
I don't understand why there needs to be any action taken,
There,
period.
there really does, and
That's
that's
a point
why,
of information,
yes.
wasn't it?
It was, and we thought that with this being the first day of the new quarter, of the new term, that action may have needed to have been taken today to extend for our 90 days. But
yeah,
evidently
that's
not.
why it's on there, because it's a new term.
It's a new
That's
term
when you
today.
talk about.
Louis said it correctly. There just needs to be no action taken, because
No.
we can give them permission to do that tomorrow if they want permission to do it. We would just have to let them say, okay,
Yeah.
it's yours to go.
The ball's in their hand right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we talked about this the first of last term, and
We
now we're
did.
talking about the first of this.
And it's not being abandoned or anything like that, so it's nothing that needs to be
Posted.
done. So I just say no action taken on
So just hold it until somebody brings it up,
Yeah.
I guess.
Right.
Okay.
information.
No
Thank
action
you, Louis.
needed. Next regular meeting, right here, next Tuesday, we'll go back to Tuesday. Other business correspondence, public comments, departmental reports. I got that one. You wanna talk about that, sir?
Well, we didn't combine any of the precincts that are all open. We expect a smaller turnout. We're hoping to get 12% turnout. We had 190, Saturday morning we were there from 8 till noon. Statutorily, we had to be there. And a few more than normally come in. There was like 10 or 12 that came in, so there's like 190 that have voted so far in person, and a little over 200, about 50 that have voted by mail. So that is in comparison to 12,400 at this time in November. So it will be a smaller vote, but we're hoping that we can get 12% with all. There's 2 countywide issues, so there's several mayoral issues, there's some school board things, and then Wolf Creek. So we've got several issues. Hopefully the people get out.
I did vote early, and one benefit is when they call me to campaign for an issue, well, I've already voted.
There you go.
Click. So anyway, it helps you on that. Any other departmental reports?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Tom.
Cameron.